Well, there we go. Door slams. They're annoying, nobody likes them, and yes, there is a way that pretty cheaply you can fix that problem yourself with just a product that I've seen some people using online, and yes, it does work, and I'll show you how it works. But after I am done showing you how this works, I will show you another product that works even better and that shows a little bit of the flaws of this one. Now, these are called HushBumps. What these will do, basically they're little self-adhesive gel type little strips. They're not that thick. So basically you place them right here on the door where the door closes on this little casing. So you place it on the inside of that, and when the door closes, you won't have the slam. Also, you shouldn't have the wobble anymore. So that's a good thing. So the first thing that you want to do to make sure that these works, because some people say that these don't really stick. Well, the reason why the self-adhesive sometimes doesn't stick is because you forget to clean it. There's a layer of dust on that part, most likely, and the self-adhesive will not stick on that dust for very long. After a few days, it'll just peel off quite easily. So you want to make sure that this is completely clean, and you want to also make sure that it is completely dry, because obviously if it's a little wet, the adhesive is not going to stick very well. So what you want to do after you're done cleaning and making sure that it's dry, but before adding the strips, you want to see where the door actually hits first. So in this door, it hits first up here. I'll show you what that looks like. So right here it closes. So here it's quite tight. However, as you can see, it's not as tight in the bottom. So if you don't really know how to adjust your door to fix that, then adding these HushBumps could do the trick. So basically, now that it's clean and dry, you've found out where it's hitting first. Sorry if there's a little bit more echo in here. We're in a washroom. Out here I had some acoustic panels to make it a little bit more tolerable, but it's not going to be for very long. So here we're going to add 2 HushBumps right up here. And then we'll see how the door actually closes. Now, because there's a little gap more so in the bottom, it might not close as well because it was tighter on top. So we'll just close this. So it closes pretty well, and it doesn't seem to be slamming as hard. Now I'm just going to So now, as you can see, the HushBump is right there, and so the door is not hitting there anymore. It's hitting right here. So I'll add another HushBump right here at the exact same spot where it's hitting first. Then we'll see what that happens. There. Seems a little bit better. Okay, so that's not as bad. But you still have the wobble on this door anyway. All right, so as you can see, it's not slamming as hard because as it's closing, it's hitting that HushBump. So if you don't have this wobble, it'll work a lot better. But as it's closing, it's not slamming as hard as it was. So the before is, there we go. And the after, is there a difference? The only problem I find, or one big problem with this, is you can see the light shining through. I'll turn this light off. It's pretty easy to see now that where it was a little bit tight up top here, I'll take these hush pads off and I'll show you. It's a little bit tighter. Now you've created a wider gap because you've pushed the door outwards a little bit. So one positive with these HushBumps, you won't have the door slam anymore as bad, but now you have this new problem. What this new problem creates is not only is it shining light from inside of the room, but it's also wherever you'll see a crack, noise will come through. One thing that you can add instead of HushBumps is a weather strip. Now what the weather strip will do, you add a weather strip all around, and now what it does, you have the cushion that the HushBump created, but now you have even more cushion because it's all around the door. You don't have to look for where it's a little bit wider or where the door hits first. It goes all around, and when you slam the door, it'll just compress onto the weather strip. You won't have that light bleed anymore, and you won't have a lot of noise coming from room to room by adding the HushBumps. So there is a weather strip that you can use that works quite well. It's a self-adhesive weather strip. The only thing, same thing with the HushBumps, sometimes I get comments, people saying that it didn't stick very well. A lot of the times it's because it wasn't cleaned properly or it wasn't dry. So just make sure that it's clean and dry before applying the weather strip all around, side to side, and on the top. Now, if noise is also the issue and it's not only the door slams, you'll have a lot of noise coming through from the bottom of the door. You have that 1/2 inch to 1 inch gap in some cases, and that's where a lot of the noise is going to come through. Now you can add a door sweep to completely block that gap. The ones that I would recommend is the U-shape door sweep, and it just slides easy in and out. You don't have to drill, you don't have to attach it onto the door and have it there permanent. The reason for that is a lot of the time there is a restriction of airflow if you completely seal the door. And if you do find out that you do have an airflow restriction, then adding a U-shaped door sweep could be the answer. If you just have to soundproof the door for a few hours, if you're just doing something that's noisy in the room for a few hours a day, then you can just slide it in and out, or you can just leave it there permanently if you don't have any airflow issues. Alright, so hopefully that solves your door slam issues. If you have any questions or comments, if you use these bumps and they worked real well, or if you have any other types of products that you've used and worked really well in your situation that you could share with everybody, let us know in the comment section below. And also I'll have links in the description below of everything I was talking about in this video. And if you want more ways on how to soundproof the door and also do it on a budget, video right there. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, assuming you subscribed.